Thank you for all joining for our wonderful session of Harinama Chintamani, chapter 14. So please let's begin our inner journey, Bhakti's journey within. We're going to offer fragrant, beautiful flower, our heart in the form of our heart, in a sense. Flower represent our heart. To the lotus feet of all those predecessors who are so mercifully, kindly giving their valuable teachings to help us come back to our original state of consciousness, pure Krishna consciousness. By invoking their mantra, we can offer the flower at their lotus feet. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Padantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanitamscha Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Tinami Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatharini Pancha Kalpa Taruvescha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namo Vindaya Tulasi Devaya Priyaye Gesavasya Krishna Bhakti Pade Devi Sattavate Namo Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Is there anyone who would like to express grateful attitude, express your grateful attitude towards Srila Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Haridas Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur? Anyone left or everybody spoken so far? Doesn't seem like anyone is. Yeah, Mother Ka, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yes, I am so thankful to Srila Prabhupada to have brought this movement to the West so that I could have opportunity in this lifetime, to have a taste of Krishna consciousness. This was such a kind mercy, for him to come here with such sinful people, and coming from such a place where, having had the experience being in ISKCON and the New Orleans devotees, I can appreciate where he came from, even though I have not visited India, you know. So for him, I can imagine it was quite a shock. And I am so thankful to all the New Orleans devotees. I came to Krishna in New Orleans, and the New Orleans devotees, they gave me this, you know, their mercy. And because of this, I have great opportunity to come to Krishna. It was Lord Chaitanya's appearance day, maybe 4 years ago now, that I became exposed to Krishna. One day, I just, a couple days before his appearance day, I just walked up to Gopal Krishna. I think you know him, Prabhu, Pran Govinda. He
Yes.
took, yes. So this was him. I walked right up to him and I said, Prabhu, I have a garden I want to give the temple. Please, you will allow me to plant it here. And so arrangements were made. And Gopal Krishna, he invited me to everything, to every house program and every birthday and every kirtan and of course every Sunday love feast. So like this, I got invited to everything. So before I was given an opportunity to plant the garden, like this, I went every day to the temple just about on his invitation. And so like this, I got so much mercy. And then the first day I went, though, it was Lord Chaitanya's appearance day. So I walk in, you know, and arti is going on, and then the bathing of the deities. So like this, right away, I fell in love with Krishna. You know, I was completely taken away by the energy in the room and just the love of the devotees. So I had no problem, you know, falling right in love with Krishna. And it was just 2 months after that first day that I started living in temples. So like this, I was very fortunate. And now Krishna has made nice arrangement. I have little forest in the cabin where I am supposed to be studying nicely. So I thank all of you guys for being here and offering me this opportunity. That is all, Prabhu.
Very good. Thank you, Mother Karan.
Hare Krishna.
And stick to Krishna consciousness till your last breath and go back home. And also help others to come to Krishna consciousness. Dear devotees, I have sent you in the chat, no, not in the chat, in the WhatsApp group, a beautiful chart made by Mother Nilambari Radha. I was drawing with my village hand, didn't make any sense, but some other, she's genius, she put it in a proper perspective. So I thank to her and give my dandavat to her lotus feet so that you all can be benefited. And can everybody see it? Can you see it in the chat, in the WhatsApp, the chat? Okay. So I'll begin with this. Today is a very interesting chapter. It's called, it's an offense to the holy name, but offense to the holy name in the form of deity. Now, some of you may think like, if I don't worship, if I don't have any deity, if I'm not engaged, do I need to know all this? Yes, if you want to awaken your love of Godhead, you have to know. Because the deity, Bhagavan's original Swarup and the holy name, they're inseparable. You cannot separate, they're one. And we see the deity everywhere. How do you honor prasadam if you don't have a deity in your house? So obviously everybody has a deity, I'm sure, right? Everybody has a deity in your house, whether it's a photo or even your mental. There is 8 types of deity in 11th Canto Bhagavatam. There's 8 types of deity. One is a mind, mental, Manimoyi, Manomoyi. So I wanted to just discuss first a little bit about with this question, so you're not afraid of all these offenses. Also, I want you to be afraid, fearful of the offenses. Because fear is one of the good motivation people moves out of fear. I saw with COVID-19 how people are afraid. I saw with 11/9 when the Twin Towers was attacked in New York. I was in San Diego, how the whole America shut down. People are afraid. It doesn't matter what country you are. They are fearful. It's just question of gradation. So my question is first to all of you, whoever can answer, please say. At this moment in our life, we are contaminated with the material modes of nature. So please answer me, what is contaminated and what is contaminating? Because all these offenses that this chapter is nothing but due to contamination. So question is, what is contaminated and what is contaminating? So at least we can start from the ground. Yes, Prabhu Vikas.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So, consciousness is contaminated, Prabhu.
Consciousness is contaminated.
Contaminated.
Okay.
And what is contaminating is this the whole Prakriti, which is material. It is creating different vrittis in us because of interacting with it. And that disconnection with our real identity.
Yes, I'm listening. Disconnecting with the real identity.
Yes. So our Sat Chit Anand Swarup, which we are, the pure consciousness, the true self, the complete knowledge. Because of this 9-gated prison which we have got and everything else within that, when it interacts with the 5 Panchabhutas across us by which this Srishti is formed, in that interaction, different vittis are getting formed. Different samskaras are happening.
Okay.
All those are the contaminations, basically.
Is everybody is aware what this Prabhu is explaining? I hope you are aware. If not, we can discuss further. Okay, good. Is it bhakti that is consciousness carrying is contaminated, or is it the bhakta, the person who is contaminated? Somebody else answer also beside Vikas Prabhu. So we are on the same page.
Bhakta is contaminated.
Bhakta is contaminated, not bhakti.
Yes.
Very good answer. Thank you. Vikas Prabhu also very good. Thank you. Now, third person, the bhakta means who? The soul that is contaminated, or is it nature, Swabhav is contaminated, or is the faith of Krishna consciousness that he got, is progressing, cannot see what the results supposed to be, cannot see it. So is it the faith contaminated, or is nature, Swabhav, or is the soul contaminated? Third person, whoever answered the other two.
I think it is faith as well as the nature also, Prabhu. Both are
Little louder.
contaminated. I was saying that the faith as well as the nature, both are contaminated, Prabhu. That's why we are away from the supreme reality.
Okay. Out of 3, you eliminated 1. Out of 2, there will be only 1 answer, not 2.
Then it has to be nature, Prabhu.
Very good. Good. So consciousness boils down to this, what we assume the nature. It's like a water became ice. Liquidity is lost. Not lost, but is in latent position. You know, latent, the word latent means it's there, but it's not visible. Okay, very good. Now you look at the chart, Mother Nilambari Radhika Devi Dasi made it. You can also please thank her that she spent some time to make it. I just gave only little idea. So this is very important. Can everybody see the chart? Where you are the soul, conscious being. And you have a subtle body. and you have a gross body. But you also have other side, and the arrow indicates where the consciousness is going. If the consciousness goes to spiritual, you are perfect in spiritual world. There is no fear. Actually, fear is also like I'm giving a dumb example. Satyadevata Prabhu, because you asked that question last Wednesday. Let me ask you a question. Are you afraid of just imagine, we are not in the Zoom, you are in a jungle, you went for a hiking or something, and you all of a sudden confronted a big tiger. And you can see your whole body can be inside the mouth even, such a giant tiger. So, will you be afraid?
Yes, Prabhu, I will be afraid.
Very good answer. So then question comes, where if a tiger is made of, how do you say, rasgulla, and he opened his mouth, he's acting, but it's all rasgulla, it's not a tiger, but it looks like a tiger. Will you be afraid?
No, Prabhu.
Because it's tasty. Instead of he's going to taste you, you're going to taste the rasgulla. Well, I don't think you will be able to eat all the entire tiger of rasgulla, but at least idea is that you will be tasting instead of tiger taste you. So spiritual life is like this. Spiritual life has all the fear, all the emotion. They cry, they also get scared. Even Krishna gets scared of a tiger. But it is not a tiger that we are experiencing tiger in this world. Those tigers are actually giving Krishna an experience that he wants it. They have a snake. For an example, I throw 1-2 example. One time Srimati Radharani, I think I mentioned that, was approached Srimad Bhakti Charu Maharaj. I miss him. He left this world. Srimad Bhakti Charu Maharaj, I asked him, Maharaj, where did you get this information that Radharani asked that question to Krishna when Krishna was extremely in separation, and Krishna says, all right, let's forget this Parokiya Leela. Let's get married and live together. And Radharani said, that will be such a boring, forget it. I don't even want to hear it. I said, Maharaj, this is such a hilarious. He said, where did you get it? It's from Garga Samhita. So, it's not that Radha Krishnas are not married. They are eternally married. There is a planet, giant planet, bigger than this Earth planet, bigger than America, bigger than anything you know. And the Radha Krishnas are married, all the coward boys are married, everything is wonderful. This is called Sakya Leela. Jiva Goswami Pad writes like this. Then there is another chamber, they're called Prakosta. I don't know the Sanskrit appropriate English. Prakosta I found as a chamber, but chamber I don't think everybody knows. So I say planet or abode or realm. Prabhupada used the realm, means a reality of existence, another, like a planet. So there is a planet, the highest planet is Parokiya Leela, where they cry for each other. Krishna will go in the middle of the forest, tell the boys, I'll be back 1 minute, because he's missing Radharani so much, and he'll cry. What happened? She's married. How can happen to me? My father is such a perfect man in the entire creation. My mother, the most chaste lady, and look at me. I'm in love with married lady. What a horrible. And Krishna will cry and cry. If ordinary people think like, what is this? This is the concept of God? Absolutely not. But they will never understand. This is Krishna relish. This Parokiya is difficult to understand by a common public. But Krishna relish this, that he is missing and he cannot get out of this relationship, knowing that Radharani is married to someone, but Radharani is not never married to someone. That's his own internal potency. He created. So I remember, I think I mentioned to you all, whenever you hear the Lila, always think this metaphor. Krishna is the script writer. Jogomaya is the director. Krishna is the hero, Radharani is the heroine, and the rest of the Brajavashi is in between, different role player. So what is going to happen? Jogomaya director controls or the script writer controls? Somebody answer me. You know how to make a movie? I'm sure everybody knows. No? You know how you make a movie? To make a movie, you need a script writer. First, he has to write the script. And the director, producer, the actor, hero, heroine, Bollywood, Hollywood, or whatever, different places you can imagine. I'm sure you all saw some movie, at least in life, to relate to this. So just think, this is the first verse of Rasa Panchadhyay, first verse. Bhagavan Pitara Trisarat Utfulla Mallika Bhiksham Rantum Manasa Chakre Joga Maya Samasrita. The whole world takes shelter of who? Who the Shastra promote? To God. They're telling that take shelter of God, all your problem will be over. In this verse, it says something different. It says Jogomaya Upasrita, and God also took shelter of Jogomaya. How to understand that? Everybody should take shelter of God, and God takes shelter of some lady. Yes, that's his internal potency. And he told her that you create a fake marriage. You give a conception, all the girls born, they will think they will grow up thinking they will get married to someone. And they will marry somebody, but then in between they will meet Nanda Maharaj's son and they will go crazy for him. It's so beautiful. But they have to marry. So they married, but they never meet, they never see. They always think, I never want to see my husband. Who is the husband? There's nobody husband. Krishna himself took those form in Brahma Viman Leela. So the whole pastime you have to visualize like a movie, but in a spiritual realm. Krishna wanted to experience. How to experience? It's very interesting. I'm not putting anybody down who loves Lord Ram. I also love Lord Ram. But Lord Ram cannot accommodate everything because he has a vow of Ekapatni Brata. He stick to one wife. When somebody asked him to marry him, he is stuck. He said, sorry. Nothing fault of Surpanaka. Just because she is a Rakshasi family doesn't mean her fault. Ramchandra is so attractive and he is a Kshatriya. According to Shastra, Kshatriya are allowed to marry as many they can handle. But Ram says, I'm sorry, I cannot. But Krishna, unlimited. Never say no. So Prabhupada gave a very interesting, he says, where moral, immoral, ethical, unethical, anything you concept, stealing, most honest person. Everything exists in Krishna simultaneously. Please fold your hand and chant a one mantra. This is a wonderful, Jiva Goswami Pad says. Viruddha Dharman. Maybe one person can utter a little loud so I can hear. Viruddha Dharman.
Viruddha Dharman.
Tasmin.
Tasmin.
He Chitram.
Echitam.
Very sweet, very simple. So now listen the translation. All opposite, mutually contradictory characteristic. This is my translation because there is no exact translation of that. But I love those few verses that I find a different meaning. So it's all mutually contradictory characteristics exist in Krishna harmoniously. Viruddha Dharman. Viruddha Dharman means in this country or in this world, who steals? Do you know who steals? Who needs? Who doesn't have? Who will be stealing others' property? Who doesn't have? who is poor. But if you own the whole world, you will never steal. From who? You own the world. You understand? But Krishna is the possessor. He is the owner. He is the supreme God of everything. One time in Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada writes, Krishna is thinking, oh, this is a beautiful house. They must have a good butter. And Krishna is trying to steal. And Mother Mukhara is telling to Joshoda Maya, I cannot believe this. This is his own house. He's trying to steal. 9 lakhs cows, 900,000 cows giving milk just for Krishna's need. He wants to steal from his own house. So our Acharya Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur says, probably stolen butter tastes better. That's why Krishna has this. You don't put your logic in your head. Why Krishna have to steal such things? Like it is not a good character. Don't talk like this. You have to just accept. He owns everything, but he loves stealing. Contradictory, Viruddha Dharma. Viruddha Dharman, Tasmini Chitram, but they exist in him harmoniously. It nourishes. Mother Joshoda said to Mukhara, stop, don't talk. I just want to see his face. He's so beautiful. Mukhara said, I'm talking about your son. He's stealing from your own house. It's for him. Why is stealing? He said, shh. I just love his way of looking to steal. It's so beautiful. I just want to stare at it. So Mother Joshoda, instead of disciplining, she even fails. Because when Krishna wants to steal, he has a different look. It's so attractive, it steals our heart. Who is going to discipline who? This is Krishna. We have to understand. You want to enjoy ultimate ocean of nectar, you go align. How Rupa Goswami Pad says, do this, you will be there. And that's Krishna. 24 hours a day he enjoys. And Prabhupada was bragging about it one time. He said, a Germany journalist, I'm sure you heard that story. He came to India looking for God. So he was taking some photo and also writing. He said, I have come to conclusion. I went to many temples. I saw one God, he is meditating. And I said, what kind of God is that? Always meditating. He's very peaceful, quiet. He's meditating. He's holding a trident. His name is Shiva. So they said, if he's God, why he has to meditate for? It's like, didn't make any sense. Then he went to another temple, many temples. He saw very ferocious form, Durga, Kali. So he went all the temples in India at that time, British time. He said, I only love one God conception. It's so good, so perfect. I never need to know more. Even though he's not a devotee at that time. He said, that's Krishna. Anywhere I see him, he's always enjoying. I love that God. If I'm with him, I'll be enjoying. That's all. And that's what I want. So Prabhupada liked it. He said, this is a good conclusion. This shows intelligence. Why you want to worship a God who is also searching for some answer from someone? Krishna never looked for answer. He's self-satisfied, but he still has all those opposite contradictory characteristics. So good. Just like I'm sorry, I'll end with this. Just like one time, Radha Krishna has a little sulkiness. Sulkiness means they purposely create, Yogamaya creates a scenery where get little moody. You know the word sulkiness? It's called man in Sanskrit, mana. There's a mana mandir in Barshana, Radharani's place. Means when she is little grouchy, not a grouchy is a bad word, like a little moody, very moody, then she goes to that room. And Krishna has to go there to pacify, and it's a nightmare. Sometimes he succeeds, sometimes he does not. So one time he failed. So Radharani walked out. She's going through the jungle, going back to her home. All of a sudden, giant snake just popped from the jungle. Seeing this, she ran back and grabbed Krishna. Oh, I'm so scared. And Krishna said, what happened to your sulkiness? And the snake started laughing. I did it, I did it. That's how they serve Prabhus and mothers. That's why all the creature origin in Golak Vrindavan, just for meeting and separation of Radha Krishna. They have a lion, they have a snake, they have everything. But it is just for their union and separation, union and separation. So with that note, I'm going to begin our discussion today. Who is going to be voluntarily to read?
Happy to read, but if anybody wants to read, I'm fine. Otherwise, I'm happy to read, Prabhu.
Let's see who is there, who can read. Mother Nilambari Radha, since you worked hard, could you read, please? If you are available.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll read that.
Okay.
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. I'll start this chapter 14. Offenses.
Maybe little higher volume for me. Or
Okay.
maybe it's my volume.
Yeah. Is it better? Humble obeisances to everyone. Is it better?
And everybody, is she audible to all of you?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
Okay, very good.
Okay, fine. Chapter 14. Offenses in serving the deity. Jai Gaur Gadadhara, Janva Jivana, Jai Sitapati, Shrivasadi Bhaktagana. Mahaprabhu said, listen, Haridas, you have revealed the truth about offenses to the name. By this, the jivas of the Kali Yuga will become fortunate. You are the Acharya of the holy name. When I hear the description of the name from you, I feel great joy. You are the Acharya in the conduct and learned as a preacher, and your character is decorated by the jewel of the name. Ramananda Raya taught me about rasa, and now you have taught me the glories of name. Now discuss the different offenses in serving deity, seva aparadha. Hearing this, the darkness in the heart of the jivas will be dissipated. Haridas said,
One second, Mata, just 1 second. Did everybody notice that when you meet another devotee, try to appreciate, glorify the quality that devotee has. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is glorifying Haridas Thakur. If you want mercy of another Vaishnava, try to glorify that Vaishnava. What did Mahaprabhu do? 4 things I counted while Mataji was reading. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, thank you for revealing this danger of offense. This is a real glory when you find the quality Haridas Thakur did, and Mahaprabhu says, thank you for revealing the danger of offense. 1, 2, he says in Kali Yuga, living entity will become fortunate and will ultimately attain the supreme goal because of this. 3rd, you are, and then he gave him a position. You are Acharya of the holy name, powerful Acharya of the holy name. And 4th, he said, you have taught the living entity Harinam, holy name, Namabhas, and the glory of holy name. 3 things. Try to see this. If you really practically, Prabhus and Mother, if you practically use this every day, you will become another level immediately. In the beginning, it will be difficult. For a month or 2 months, 3 months, you'll say, oh my God, every time I have to speak somebody, I have to appreciate, and it will be difficult. But after 3 months, you don't want to get out of there. It's so much good feeling. When you appreciate the genuine quality of another Vaishnava, it illuminates your heart and their heart. And your relationship with each other becomes so good in the temple, it will be like a Vaikuntha, your existence. Now you may say, are you practicing this, Pran Govinda Das? Yes, I'm practicing this and I see the result. It's wonderful. And I also don't like what I did before, not did enough good. So I'm begging also for mercy to Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu to at least forgive me that I did not behave properly or respect others. So please do this. This is very important. Now, three things, Haridas Thakur, before you speak, which you will do next week, not next week, week after. Before you speak, see, before Haridas Thakur spoke, he said three things. How to remain humble speaker. This is very important. Now she's going to read, see if you can catch three things. Go ahead, Mata.
Haridas said, those who are serving the deity know about this. I have simply taken shelter of the name, so how can I know? However, not to violate your order, I will elaborate. Concerning service to the Murti of the Lord, there are many offenses listed in the scriptures. In one place, 32 offenses are mentioned, and elsewhere 50. The learned have divided these offenses into four types: offenses in directly serving the deity, offenses in establishing a deity, offenses in taking darshan of the deity, and general offenses committed against the deity. The 32 offenses listed in Bhagavatam are as follows.
1 second, Mata. Did everybody got it? There is a four types of, or no, four categories of this Sheba Aparat. Did everybody get it? One is what?
Yes, Prabhu. One is offenses indirectly against deity. One is in offenses in the way we establish the deity, and one is the way darshan of the deity is taken. The last one is general commitments against general offenses which are committed against deity.
Okay. Contemplate on this and you'll see your life is involved around it. You'll see all the devotees, you'll see their life is around it. And if you are just aware of it, and then we'll give you the relief, how you'll never commit offense if you just, but if you're not aware even of the offenses, how do you know you got out of it? Okay, Mata, go ahead. Now these 32 offenses, Aruna Nayana Prabhu.
Prabhuji, one offense I would like to know here, it says that offenses in directly serving the deity. What does directly serving the deity?
We are going to come in details.
Okay.
But you have the, okay, maybe I can disclose it. I put something in the WhatsApp chat. You sure you all saw it? I was looking for some Bengali translator, just because I was just so much under, not pressure. I feel good. Everything is good, but I was like, didn't have enough time to do this. So Aruna Nayana Prabhu came forward and Mother Sonali also came after that. But Aruna Nayana Prabhu already compiled this 32. So Mother Nilambari Radha, just wait for a minute him to finish. He's going to read the translation. He found it's correct. The book that we have, it's good, but it's not exactly aligned. I had a doubt. So I went back and forth and I was thinking like, if I do it, I spent already 4 hours and I could not come up. I corrected the rest, but this 32, Aruna Nayana Prabhu, can you read that? So everybody get the correct version.
Pranam Prabhuji. The 32 offenses listed in the Bhagavatam are as follows. Number 1.
Now you are reading the one you corrected it, right? Not the book.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Entering the temple with shoes on. Second offense, entering on a palanquin or a car. One should enter the temple with an easy heart, without demur, free of unrestrained feelings.
Prabhu, go slowly. 1 second. Everybody understand why entering in the temple with shoes is bad? Can somebody say quickly?
It is offense.
Because
I know it is offense, but why?
Because shoes carry all the dust from different places. You are contaminating the purity of the temple.
Thank you. Because it can step on stool too.
Yes,
Dirty stool, yes. So that's why we have to find the logic reason behind it, then you will not commit offense anymore. We cannot just accept blindly, then we will not understand will just follow as a, there has to be spirit behind the rituals in order to be spiritual. There has to be conscious understanding. So, Ornanan Prabhu, you can read, but if somebody has a, you know why, if you have a question, you can pause or you can raise a hand and say, go ahead.
Okay. Go. Number 2, entering on a palanquin or a car, one should enter the temple with an easy heart, without demur, free or unrestrained. Number 3, not observing festivals, example Janmashtami and Ratha Yatra, for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Number 4, not paying obeisances to the deities. Number 5, reciting prayers in an unclean state, not having cleaned hands and feet properly after having prasad, etc. Number 6, bowing on one hand. Number 7, circumambulating in front of the deity. Number 8, spreading one's legs before the deity while sitting, or while sitting holding the ankles, elbows, feet, knees before the deities. Number 9, sleeping before the deity. Number 10, eating before the deity. Number 11, speaking lies before the deity. Number 12, talking loudly in the temple room. Number 13, gossiping. Number 14, cursing or giving charity to beggars in front of the deity. Number 15, fighting in the temple. Number 16, crying, not out of bhakti, but out of material lamentation in front of the deity.
1 second. See how he explained that? One translation said not to cry, but then Ornanayan Prabhu corrected it. He says, if you have a bhakti, you cry, then it's okay. Out of feeling separation from the Lord or not coming closer. But if you don't have a bhakti, you coming for your some nonsense things, you come, that is offense. Everybody understand? I like the new translation. I send it to your WhatsApp. You can forward it to your site if you want.
Prabhu, one question here. If somebody is having a serious health problems and they go in front of the deity and cry and ask for mercy, is that an offense?
What is the intention behind? Why you want to stay alive?
Okay, if I am doing for myself, I understand. Why do I want to be alive? Let's say if I am crying and asking for a family member to please cure them from an illness or something, and if I go and cry in front of the deity, is that still an offense?
My point is that if I come to you and you are a millionaire and say, can I have a $10,000? You never met me. I don't care about you. I just want your money because I don't have money. You have money. Come on, give me $100,000 or $10,000. Is that okay?
If we don't know, we cannot ask a stranger.
So it's just use that in that case. If that person has some kind of a respect to God, some kind of only taking advantage of God for my sense gratification, it is not proper, isn't?
Understood. Then that's like a business. Yeah.
Correct. Even not business, because they're not giving anything. They just want help. Yeah. So something like that. Okay. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Using harsh words, number 17. 18, criticizing others. 19, covering oneself in a blanket before the deity. 20, praising others before the deity. 21, using obscene language. Number 22, belching or passing gas. 23, not offering the best articles possible in spite of having the means to do so. Number 24, eating food not offered to the deity. 25, not offering fruits available in that season. Number 26, offering already enjoyed food. 27, sitting with one's back to the deity. 29, paying respects to others before the deity. Number 30, not glorifying the Guru. Number 31, praising oneself, one's achievements. Number 32, criticizing deities or demigods.
Very good. Now, anybody has question? In your case also, Saptadevata Prabhu, you could introduce them. You said, you have come, you want me to pray, but why don't you pay obeisances? Let God see that you are here for his help. At least engage them some bhakti. Then you can ask.
Prabhuji, on that 7th point, circumambulating in front of the deity, this is a question I have. I'm a South Indian. Throughout our life, in the puja, when there is a process of the puja, at the end of the puja, they ask us to do circumambulating 3 times ourselves by holding the flower in the hand, do it 3 times and then go and offer. That is very, very common in every ritual in South India. So whenever I read this Nectar of Devotion or this one which says circumambulating in front of the deity is an offense, I couldn't understand it.
You giving attention to the Lord or giving attention to you? That's the question. If you're giving attention to yourself, you are very important. You are a fortunate person. In front of God, it is like a humiliation. You know,
Yes.
you're not giving the credit that God made you good, and you're not giving credit, instead you're taking. It's like a stealing. So but like circumambulation, the whole idea of parikrama means you get the quality of that who you circumambulating. And it should be clockwise. If you go counterclockwise, you get the bad quality. Not from that person, from something else.
Understood. In South
So when
India,
you go clockwise, you get the good quality. Also, you appreciate that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so funny. He told Ramananda Rai. He says, where are you going? He says, I'm going to do parikrama to Jagannath. Say, how can you do parikrama? If you do parikrama, you will miss the beautiful face of the Lord. You'll have to go all the way around. Why don't you just look at the Lord's face and don't move? That is very intense. If you have that kind of intensity, then it's okay. But in general, when you take the Lord's merciful blessing like a flower or some itinerary, and then you appreciate that the Acharya gave in that South India. I also saw some other places also in South, they have that. That is appreciating the Lord's mercy, not giving importance to yourself.
understood.
Thank you.
I think one
Any
Mataji
other
post-
on this 33? Sorry?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, in point number 20, praising others before the deity, we have seen it at other temples and even in our local temple, like in front of a deity, sometimes we glorify Vaishnavas for their service. Is that okay? Or
There is a beautiful verse in 11th canto. The Lord says, Adara paricharjayam mad bhakteshu abhibandanam mad bhakta puja abhadika sarvabhuteshu manamati. When you have a love for me, Lord says, adara means affection. When you have affection for me, paricharja means worshipping. You worship me very elaborately. At that time, you should glorify my devotee more than me. You should worship more than me. Because why? Because through that devotee, you will develop love for me quicker. So from that case, in that sense, you are allowed to glorify. Actually, it pleases the Lord. Why do we glorify Prabhupada so much? Because it pleases Krishna. We're not glorifying because they need to hear their glory. Even you may think like the same logic. You can think like this. Krishna repeated that one verse twice, right? In Bhagavad Gita, 1865 and 934, the last verse of 9th chapter, the very important verse, Manmana Bhavamadda Bhagat. In that verse, Krishna says, Madjajimam namaskuru, mame vasyashi sattamte pratijani piyasme. He says, pay obeisances to me. Namaskuru. Why? Question, because I come from a conditional atheistic background, kind of. So you say, why do I have to pay obeisances to God? He is waiting for me to pay obeisances. He wants everybody to become devotees so he can get all the obeisances. Krishna did not say that. If you look at the verse before that, I mentioned that before. Can you look at that verse before that, 18.64? Krishna says, Sarva Guya Tamam Bhuya. I'll tell you the most confidential of all confidential. What is it? Shrinume Paramam Bacha. Listen attentively. Ishtoeshime Dhiramiti. To Bakshami Te Hitam. Te Hitam. Te means to you. Hitam means for good. For your good, Arjuna, you should pay me obeisances. Because if you pay obeisances, your false ego disappear. You can release the nectar. What are you looking for? You want peace, you want happiness, pay obeisances to me. It is not that I need, it is you need. You need to come out of your false ego. So we pay obeisances like this. We glorify the devotees. It is for our good. It pleases Krishna. Because any activities has to have a two effect. Savi pungsa para dharma jata bhakti radhakshate ahetuki apratiyata jayatma suprasiddhati. Atma prasiddhati. Supreme soul has to be satisfied and it has to satisfy me, the person who is offering. So Krishna says in that Bhagavatam verse 116, that 1.2.6, that Krishna will be pleased when you do bhakti, glorifying devotee, Shusrushaya Bhakta. When you glorify the devotee, Krishna says, I will be pleased. So we are pleasing Krishna by glorifying the devotee, then we will be benefited. So from that angle, it is perfect. And we should. Thank you. That's a very nice question.
Then what does this offense mean, praising others before deity, like praising non-devotees? Is that
correct? Also praising somebody just you. Now, there's a one lecture Prabhupada said very interestingly. He said, we are not interested of glorifying a rich man, or we are equal to all. But then after 1 minute, Prabhupada said, if a man contributed so much money to push this movement, to glorify, to deliver this soul, then his contribution should be appreciated. So we are not glorifying that man. We are appreciating the person who helped in Krishna consciousness movement will have eternal benefit. When Mr. Sethi was arranging some places in Bombay for the devotees, we did not have a temple. So they reported Prabhupada, and Prabhupada asked Mr. Sethi, so you are arranging some place for the devotee to stay? Say, yes. I said, while you do this, I'm also praying to Krishna that he will make a beautiful palace for you in the spiritual world. This is so nice reciprocal. In 7th Canto, chapter 5, Lord Krishna, Prahlad Maharaj has a discussion with his father, and one of the verses is that 9 process of devotional service. And in the one purport, Prabhupada writes, those who dress the deities, appreciate the devotees, their heart is being decorated where Krishna will come and sit. But then if you glorify unqualified person, non-devotee, then Krishna says you will get contaminated by that. Parasabhava, this is also another verse in 11th Canto. Parasabhava karmani na garhayat. Parasabhav means the nature of another person. You do not need to glorify another person's nature, another person's quality. But when somebody becomes devotee, yes, you should glorify. But glorify what quality? The devotional quality. The man is giving his money. The man is giving his time. Prane artha diya vacha shreya acharanam sada. 4 way you serve. Prane, you give your life. If you cannot give your life, artha, you give some contribution, your money, wealth, land, whatever. Diya, you're intelligent, means you preach about Krishna, like we are doing right now. Vacha, speak about it, and money, or whatever. If you give something for ultimate benefit, it pleases Krishna. Pranayortadiya vachasya acharanam sada. This should be the quality of, I would say, standard of measurement. If anybody contributes one of these four, like most of you all are giving your life for Krishna, isn't? What do you do from morning till evening? It's all for Krishna. Whether you have family or not family, it's for Krishna. You are coming forward. So that means you gave the first one. But some people cannot give their life. So you let them give some money. You let them give them some time or some facility, food for life program. Some people come here, they distribute food. That's all they do. They don't chant, they don't. Slowly they're coming. So four way we can get benefited like that. So Aditya Narayan Prabhu, yes, non-devotee we should not glorify.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for a wonderful answer. Thank you.
Thank you. If we don't have, then we can go for the other next 35 or 40. How many is there? One place it says 40, one says 50, one says 35. Harinama Nayana Prabhu, you also did that translation?
There, most of are in order, Prabhu, except for two of them.
Okay, you read that and then Mother Nilambari Radha will read the rest.
Hare Krishna. Other offenses are touching the deity after eating the food of a materialist, touching the deity in a dark room, approaching the deity with proper etiquette without following the Vedic injunctions as being unclean, opening the deity doors without musical instruments or sounding, offering food seen by a dog, speaking unnecessarily during puja, going outside the deity room during the course of doing puja, offering incense without a fragrant flower, offering unsuitable flower during puja, commencing puja with unwashed mouth, having sex before puja, touching a woman during her period, touching a lamp, touching a dead body, wearing unsuitable cloth, seeing a dead body, passing air, basically belching, becoming angry, coming directly from a cremation, doing puja with yet undigested food in the stomach or upset stomach, eating onions, chewing betel nuts, touching the deity after massaging with oil and not bathing, offering flowers from an unclean pot, doing puja at an inauspicious time. One should not worship the Lord sitting directly on the floor while sitting directly on the floor. Touching the deity with the left hand while bathing him. Offering old, not fresh flowers. Boasting speech during puja. Spitting. Wearing horizontal tilaka. Not washing the feet. Offering food cooked by non-Vaishnavas. Allowing non-Vaishnavas to be present during puja or puja for the purpose of showing off to the Vaishnavas. Not worshipping Vishnu, talking to a Shiva or Durga worshipper or one who carries skulls and bones with him. Bathing the deity with water touched by the fingernails. Worshipping while perspiring. Making oaths before Krishna. Stepping over articles used for the deity. These are the 40 offenses mentioned.
Very good. Any question on that or reflection?
Yes.
Otherwise, yes, Mother Anastasia.
Krishna. It is mentioned that we should not wear unsuitable clothes as well, while entering the temple. And I've read recently in Nectar of Devotion, it said that we should not wear garments of red and blue color. Why is that?
It's this talk, I heard this 40 years back, 30 years back, 20 years back, even 2 years back. So generally, there's a few ways to look at it. I don't know where the reference is, but this one devotee in Radhakund, I was there for a couple weeks, few years back, and he says that Jotila and Kutila, they love wearing red and blue, no other clothes. So he said, never wear red and blue. Why Rupa Goswami Pad put it? And I said, where is this explanation coming from? He said, from the Goswamis. I said, oh, little more precise will be helpful. He said, I don't know, I heard it from my Guru Maharaj that whenever they see red and blue, it disturbs Radharani's mental equilibrium. She cannot focus. She cries, she closes her eye. Why my misfortune? So he said, red and blue, no gopis will wear. No manjaris will wear. They will mix something. Reddish, pinkish, but not origin red. Because these two great personality, they are also eternally there. Like Ramchandra Puri. He is also there, criticizing, finding fault with the devotees. It's also there, meeting Mahaprabhu. So these things are there, so we have to be careful. Also, this says that it's a color of Rajagun and Tamagun. That's in Bhagavatam, that's true. The color of Rajagun is red and Tamagun is blue. So, but then Rupa Goswami Pad says, for a good reason, we should just follow it. But our focus is not following the ritual rules only, the purpose behind it. If something I wear distract anybody, if I have a mohawk or some kind of weird shape that everybody in the temple looking at me instead of looking at the deity, is the same as red and blue. Those days, Rupa Goswami's time, nobody acted weird in the temple, so he didn't write, all kinds of hairstyle or this, that. If anything I wear distract everybody's attention from deity to him or her, then it is as good, as bad as this. Everybody understand. The whole reason is written so that our attention can be on the deity. Thank you. It's a nice question.
Thank you so much. And also about touching a lamp, I still also didn't understand.
Touching what?
A lamp. Lamp.
Touching lamp is not an American lamp. You have to understand. The lamp in the temple tradition is made of ghee wick. It's a wet. When you touch that, it has like a wet ghee feeling. And if you touch the deity's body with that or offering something, it's like your hand is like a very moist with the oil or ghee. So you better wash your hand, don't touch.
Greasy.
But in America, you have electric bulb, electric light, so it's different. There's a switch.
Prabhuji, taking oaths before Krishna, can you just explain it?
Taking oaths.
Oaths.
For what?
It is written there.
No, I know, but for what you want to take oath? To marry someone or to become rich? What is the oath you have?
Oaths could be.
If that person don't go along with me, I'll kill him. This is my oath. What kind of oath you are taking?
If it is a spiritual oath, like I will chant 25 rounds, is that okay?
Yes. First Besa Puja of Prabhupada, there was no Prabhupada that time. Swamiji was known. They even adopted. Mother Govinda Dasi, she used to live here. I had a long talk with her many times. And I remember one time she even clearly said, very interesting. She said, when we asked her and her husband, Joy Gorsundar Prabhu, what should we call you? Prabhupada said, generally in India, they call Guru, Dev, Guru Maharaj, Swamiji, Swami Maharaj, Prabhupada, like this, variety, any whole pastime. So anyway, she was just a young Western girl. She has no idea, but she had a strong faith on Prabhupada's word. Till today, she's in Austin, Texas. She's chanting rigidly and going on with spiritual life, full-fledged. This is how much Prabhupada infected in her consciousness, the faith she has. So one time, Prabhupada said, oh, you know what? My birthday is in 2 days. So of course, nobody knew Prabhupada's birthday. next day of Janmashtami. So she made a cake, beautiful cake. It's only her and her husband and Prabhupada, nobody else. So she said, it's your birthday today, you told me other day. Prabhupada said, oh yeah, what is this? He said, in birthday in America, we celebrate with a cake. So, okay. So she brought the cake and she put few candles. She said, I cannot put all these 69 or 70 candles. Prabhupada was 70 years old, but I put few and you can blow it. And Prabhupada said, okay, I'll blow it. He said, wait, before you blow it, you have to take an oath. And it has to be secret, like nobody knows. Secret, something you want, a wish. And that wish will be fulfilled when you blow the candle with that wish. Prabhupada said, I wish that Krishna consciousness will be spread everywhere. No, you have to keep it secret. Prabhupada said, that is my secret. He said, but we are hearing it. He said, that's my secret. I don't have any other secret. So, okay, you take your oath. I take an oath that till my last breath, I'll try to remember Krishna and never forget him. So it's supposed to be all secret. Prabhupada said, that is secret for Vaishnava. Anyway, then end up having a cake. Prabhupada, that was Prabhupada's first birthday. Only 2-3 devotees. But there was no ISKCON at that time. So it's like this. So in that case, oath is okay as long as it is for progression in spiritual path.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. It's a nice question.
Hare Krishna.
All right.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
One of the other things was told about during the period not to touch the person. So, Prabhu, like historically, we have been maintaining a saucham around it in the families as a tradition also in India, but scientifically, I don't understand it. So, can you throw some light on that? Like how does...
Your wife will be able to explain you better than me. But what I understand that when Rupa Goswami Pad wrote this originally, and Padma Puran, actually he got it from Padma Puran also, he gave the reference. And Bhagavatam also gives some. In Vedic culture, women did not have this under, paddies things that they have in America. Every woman has during their, PMS or menstrual time. But those days, the women in Vedic culture didn't have. So their cloth would be, smeared with the blood and all these things. So it's better they stay in a place peacefully, not active, working, and they stay in a peaceful. And also PMS, we are men, I don't think we will understand the suffering they go through. It can be terrible pain for some Matajis. Unless they express to you, you will never know. Even they express, what do we know? You cannot feel the pain. Sometimes people go through so much pain and, they cannot help anything. So in that time, it is better to give them good facility and not involved with the rest of the family or deity or anything. It's better leave them a peaceful place where they can rest in spiritually and give them supply them prasadam and emotional support. This is one thing husband must do in our culture. Manusamhita is not a religion book, it's an ethical code book, Prabhupada said. And the ethical code, Manusamhita explained this, the man should always give emotional support of his wife. Never, ever ignore it. And it's true, those are good teachings. And the women also support the man's egoism. Of course, it is in Krishna consciousness, we try to have a respect of Vaishnavi. But otherwise, harmonious living. So why Shastra says this? These are very important. These are very important. So during her period, if she has all this, impure things comes out from the body, it's better not to touch and go to your altar. So it's better you just leave her place, you cook, you offer, you serve, do it. This is a one time you are full-fledged servant of her.
That's fine.
And you can discuss details more with her. She will tell you.
No, we both don't know. That's why I asked. I mean,
Now, this is a good question. This is a good question. Even, to be honestly, in our society, a lot of men don't have a proper respect to the emotional need, support to the woman. I am guilty of that too. But it is necessary. In Manasangita, very nicely explained. I studied about it. It was very fascinating.
I was listening to Srila Prabhupada ji, and once he was explaining to someone about the egg, Prabhu, the why not to eat egg. And he explained that even for these chickens, the hens, they go through the cycle and the egg is formed from that,
Yes.
It's a part of it. So
yes.
I do understand its, to some extent, I understand its impurity, but in some of our houses, even like our grandmothers, they used to have a separate room. People will be confined there, for those times, and the sanctity was always maintained. So a lot of young friends of ours, our female friends, they sometimes ask this question, that what is the scientific reason around it, because in the modern world there is so much hygiene around it. So I do not know, Prabhu, that explanation, that we have a faith, but I don't understand what is the scientific reason around it.
See, my problem is I'm not in a woman body, so my psychology understanding, only I can repeat what I hear or read. But one thing I'm convinced, if you give, any man gives their spouse three things. You give affection, you give her protection, and you care, that she feels you care. Then she is completely nourished. She will do so much productive in spiritual life, unbelievable. And also, a man also expect two things from the wife. So like this, there is a harmonious living in our society. I'm sure there is a Grihastha, I believe there's a committee, they are promoting those things also, very nice, so that we can have a harmonious. Because outside people don't care how deep philosophy we have. They care how loving relationship, how lovely atmosphere. We may have we have the best philosophy, there is no question. Prabhupada told to Jamuna Devi, she had a little problem because she said, when you leave Prabhupada, this man, some sannyasi authority, they don't treat women, they think like they are like a low, and she was expressing, and you can read her conversation with Prabhupada. It's so nice. Prabhupada knew this. This is always everywhere, even in India, I saw, even in India. They just tolerate, the women tolerate, but they don't express. But actually it is not, Vedic culture is not like this. Vedic culture, there's a proper respect from both sides. There's a mutual respect between husband and wife. Of course, it's so much corruption with the economy and this, that it's not easy to revive. But then Prabhupada gave a logic to her. He said, you'll never find any philosophy is as best as this, so don't go. Just for that stay. She said, but when you leave this, some of the men treat like it's so. Then Prabhupada said, you'll never get a lifestyle where you can have prasadam. Every food you eat is offered to God. It will be difficult to live by yourself outside. And so Prabhupada was giving so many logic, and I took it. I was thinking, and when I met Jamuna Devi, I was also talking to her. I was like, wow, very wonderful. Of course, I didn't understand. I still don't understand all, but I'm convinced the Prabhupada wanted a wonderful, loving relation amongst the Prabhus and mothers, where people will be attracted. That lifestyle is so good, we want to be a devotee. I always say to the parents, I'm not falsely proud, but I have two sons, they are wonderful devotees. And the reason I see that, because I was not trying to pretend. I really enjoy, I really love Krishna consciousness, and they see that, they feel it. So we pray every day, even though they are grown up, 27 years old, we still pray every day. It's like a ritual from 2 years old till now. We have like a whole Mangalacharan before we go to sleep. And we do, even I travel other places, we do. I saw so many things, and I see they became very wonderful. They see and appreciate Krishna consciousness. by seeing. The children, they don't listen, they see it, but they don't speak. When they grow up, they will execute this. They see the parents are happy in Krishna consciousness, they will become Krishna conscious. If they see parents are fighting, having an argument, children will notice. They may not say it, they will not be happy. They don't want to practice Krishna consciousness. Because Krishna consciousness is not automatic. Children, as you said, they will ask the question. Yes, they have a right to ask the question. Shastra says this, Jiver ostibista dui sanka gomoy. Sanka means the conch shell, is the bones, and the cow dung is a stool of a cow. So according to Shastra, is the Mahapavitra hoy, is the purest. But everybody don't have a faith. How come other animal stool is bad and cow stool is very pure? It's then Prabhupada add it little bit. He knows the Western mentality. Prabhupada said that antiseptic. It's actually cure. Keep your place very sanctified. So, but those not require, but to make them understand why Shastra said those are. Prabhupada also explained. So it is wonderful to think that, okay, not everybody will have a faith strong that any bones you touch is bad, so you should take bath. But if you touch the bones called shankha, conch shell, it's purifying. So like that. So it's good that they ask you that question, because those are also some doubts within us that we don't address sometimes. They are pulling our doubt out. They're helping us. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Mother Nilambari Radhika, would you like to finish the rest?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll do that.
Sorry. Go ahead.
All these offenses in serving the deity will obstruct one's bhakti. Anyone worshipping the deity should avoid these offenses. The devotees avoid both seva and nam aparadhas, and thus taste the nectar of devotional service. When a devotee commits a seva aparadh, he should rectify it immediately. With the nam aparadh, with the nam aparadh, he must constantly be rectifying, improving, and avoiding. One who is on the level of bhava worship the deity day and night in the solitude. He makes no offenses against the name or in the service because his service is performed in his mind. On the order of Haridas, the devotees chant and touchstone of the holy name. Done, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Very
All
good.
glories to Haridas Thakur.
So we're done. We'll do next week, 15th chapter. And I was thinking one day maybe we'll talk about consciousness and free will. But we'll see it. I'll let you know. And on this, there's a few points of Bhaktivinoda Thakur made. Let me see if I can find it.
That's almost 20 pages, Prabhu.
The chapter 15?
Yes, so we,
Chapter
I
15
meant
is
to say
20
we need to have a
pages.
lot of time to read.
So we will need a lot of time. So maybe I'll end with this. This is Ramanujacharya's beautiful explanation. Every devotee always think 5 manifestations of God every day. One is called, you can write it, Para. Para means supreme, origin. And then next one is Buha. Buha means quadruple expansion. Sankarshan, Vasudev, or Niruddha, Pradyumna, like this. Third is Avatara. Fourth is Brahman, Paramatma. And fifth is deity form, holy name, and scriptures. The fifth form is relevant to you right now. and they all descend down. When you go to in front of the deity, don't think they're made here, even though it appears like they made here. I discussed already one day how deity appears, right? And I hope you all remember. So these 5 things, and then he says, sadhaka, as a devotee, you must put a boundaries on bhakti path so offense cannot come in. Where do you put the boundary? In your heart. For an example, suppose a country, I'm going to give you an example. Suppose a country has a hostile neighbor. Well, we don't have that problem, but there, you know, America and Mexico is like touching, and there's thousands of military forces. I went there many times. I crossed that border many times when I was in San Diego, going to Mexico and coming back. Boy, you have sometime half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours line just to cross the border. They investigate everything. So suppose country has a hostile neighbor who is constantly, just imagine, trying to infiltrate into its territory. Now, if the boundary between the two countries is not defined, the defending country's task would become extremely difficult. Can you see that? Who may face similar difficulty with regards to our behavior. Worldly temptation are constantly trying to infiltrate into our consciousness and impel us to indulge indiscriminately. When indulging in temptation, we all have a general sense of what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. However, if the boundary between them is hazy, in the village of India, I saw it. Nobody has exactly boundary of their land. They have some idea, yes, they have. And sometimes they have a fight. And at night, somebody will dig their land little more. And in the morning, the other neighbor comes and start yelling. I saw that too. So I can relate from that. That's why I'm saying this. Just like when that one goldsmith, Sandy, just consider drinking, for example. Suppose a college student consider drinking acceptable by getting drunk unacceptable. Can you see that? I mean, in America, we see that. How would they know when their drinking degenerates from occasional casual indulgence to compulsive destructive indulgence? When? And such degeneration is almost impossible to recognize in the moment when one is being tempted. Even in normalcy, I was talking to one devotee other day, consider sexual dalliances. A good example. Most culture, married people would consider having a full-blown extramarital affair as unacceptable. I'm sure in India also, everywhere. But they might consider flirting harmless fun. I saw that in gathering, some man flirt with somebody's wife. And I'm guilty of that too. Many years back, decade, 20 years, 30 years back, if somebody is very nice to you, you say, how are you, mother? Yeah, you flirt. So, but when flirting grow into something more, maybe something irresistibly or even irreversibly more, again, when a boundary is being breached, cannot be easily discerned if the boundary has not been defined in advance. Can you understand? So clearly defining boundaries is especially necessary nowadays. because violating many traditional boundaries has been normalized, even glamorized. I look at my Facebook. One Mataji told me in our class, she makes a beautiful cookies. So in the discussion we had about 20 devotees, and she said, you know, I have a serious problem. I go to Facebook for 10 minutes. And I notice by the time I'm seriously ready to go to sleep, it's 2 hours past. And I miss the Mangalarti. And this has been going on, and I'm trying to control. Well, there is a gradual progression. I'm not going to explain this because it takes 1 hour. It's a gradual progression. We studied about it, how this contamination took place in Pran Govinda Das's heart. Once you understand this, you can start eliminating. It's not comfortable, but it's possible because it's addiction. It's treatable. It is curable, but it's not easy. I did not say easy. So this Sadhu Sangha, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita association chanting states that regulative self-destructive desire needs to begin with regulative our senses. You have to regulate your senses, which essentially means defining and defending your boundaries. And by studying the Gita with its living teachers, like we are discussing, we can remember the importance of boundaries and define boundaries appropriately according to our particular situation. And each of you has your own situation. Then defend them vigorously. I asked one time Jayadutta Maharaj, can you give me some blessing, Maharaj, in my progression of spiritual path? Don't ask blessing without actually more specific. When you ask specific, then he says, okay, you have something I can write? I say, sure, I have a notebook. He writes, I still have it. Be strict and be strong. That's all 2 words. I say, wow, how did you come up with this? And Maharaj says, this is Prabhupada told me one time, and that's how I remember, and I'm doing it. So this is wonderful. This is wonderful. So you have to create a boundary. I'll end with this, that you have to create your own boundary, that how far you can go, how much you want to spend time on Facebook or whatever distraction will come. And it works, Prabhus and mothers, it works for me. I see that if I click on this, it will take me for 10 minutes. I don't have time. I don't want to waste. I have a more important things right now with the spiritual life. And I see that it became a habit, never bothers anymore. You constantly. So I summarize in one sentence, to protect yourself or ourselves, I would say, from self-destructive indulgence, you need to define boundaries clearly so that you can defend them competently. Everybody got it, right? Very good. Because you really need to protect yourself from self-destructive indulgence.
Yes, Lord.
Thank you. One reflection, we can end.
Prabhu, on your last point, Prabhu, this self-destructive mode. I mean, earlier I used to watch news a lot, and I had to kind of dabble with it, that how much I should watch. And I will go for 2 minutes, and I tend to be there for longer. So it took many years for me, Prabhu, to completely stop it. Like even now I see it, but now I made it that TV is closed, TV has been taken off and things like that. But this point is very strong. It's just not about TV, but creating that boundary within ourselves is very important, because I tend to keep myself more free on everything, and I always thought that I'm in a control, but it's not true actually, because
Thank you.
I have learned in a very hard way and over a very long period of time that it's kind of an misconcept. It's kind of overconfidence where you think that you are confident and clear, but it's not. So creating those boundaries are very, very fundamental to protect ourselves.
Thank you. You're not talking about yourself. You're talking actually for everybody. Some people are shy to say it, but there is face. Believe me, I used to face with the Facebook. It doesn't bother me. I still post every day or more or less, either Prabhupada or mine, just a little bit. But then I get here, their comment, but I don't look at it. It's okay. Nothing bothers. So this is important, that to protect ourselves from self-destructive indulgence, we need to define boundaries clearly. Why? So that we can defend them competently. Very good. So any reflection today from anyone? Yes, Mother Anastasia.
Yeah, like another thing I remembered that I would like to try to involve more in my life is praising more devotees, like in general, people that we meet, try to find in them good qualities and tell them about it.
Very good. Praising with the qualities. That's the key word I heard from you. Very nice. Because praising has to have some devotional quality. Otherwise, it will be like, oh, I like the way you drive your car. That's not really a devotional or praising. It's okay to say, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not really, if you say, it's wonderful that the way you chant or the way you are steady in your progress, something you see, tangible something, and it's true, genuinely from your heart, then it becomes a good habit. Believe me, this is such a good habit. Devotee till today, they talk that I met Prabhupada 3 years back. After 3 years, Prabhupada started where I left discussion. And I was like a dumbstruck. I could not believe that. Prabhupada was saying, you are so nice about taking care of the microphone in the temple. How do you remember microphone just little bit, little twisting? Because I see in America, we have a little problem in Alachua temple microphone sometimes. And we got a new microphone. Now is everything steady more or less. But can you imagine, Prabhupada, remember 3 years back, you had a little problem with microphone and you were holding the microphone for Prabhupada and he never forgot. Prabhupada said, that was very nice of you, that you care for distributing, allowing me to amplify the message of the Lord. And that devotee had tears. It's like unbelievable. He will never forget this little service. So those are nice, good qualities. Thank you. So we'll end here unless somebody else. Thank you. Vancha kalpa taruvescha kripa sindhubheva cha.
Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta ki jai.